Hey, how you doing? Welcome to my channel. Thank you for spending your lovely Tuesday afternoon with Glitch. That is me. Today we're going to be looking at Reddit, where we're going to be looking at Am I an Asshole? So we're going to finally get to the bottom of it. Are you an asshole or are you not an asshole? My assumption is going to be that yes, you're an asshole, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt until we get to the end and we can make a clear judgment on you. So let's get in it. Alright, so am I the asshole on Reddit? Let's just start with the first one. Am I the asshole for not allowing my coworker to bring his 18-year-old girlfriend to my home? So yeah, my coworker Rob, 33 male, is kind of a creep. In April 2019, he started dating a high school girl named Claire, 18-year-old female. It weirded the office out for sure, but we all said nothing. We're all a small office of about 10 people, and twice a month, not since quarantine, we used to do rotating nights hanging out at our homes. We don't go crazy or anything, but there's some drinking and occasionally pot, which is legal where I live. People bring their partners sometimes, but no one brings their kids. So when another coworker was hosting, Rob decided to bring Claire. It was for sure uncomfortable. I'm the youngest person in our office at 26, and most people are in their 30s or 40s. She helped herself to wine, and while no one said anything, there was definitely discomfort. She attached herself to me as the youngest person there. We walked a while, and she was perfectly nice. She just felt so young to me, even for her age. We spoke about the same things I talk about with my husband's 15-year-old niece. How school was going, what classes she liked, some concerts she was hoping to catch. The party ended early. After the party, about half my coworkers text me asking what should we do. If I felt that weird about her being there and how the whole 18-year-old girlfriend concept was even more creepy in person. Anyway, when it came my turn to host, I privately messaged Rob and informed him that Claire was lovely, but she was not welcome in my home for the party. I explained that I did not feel comfortable giving an 18-year-old whose parents I didn't know allow alcohol, and it's illegal. He complained that I was full of shit because he had seen me give my 15-year-old niece champagne at my New Year's party. I contended that it was different because her parents knew and consented, and she was at a family party, not at a party with strangers twice her age. He said, "You're just doing it because you don't like that I'm dating an 18-year-old." And I replied, "Yeah, Rob, it's creepy, and it puts us in a bad situation where she comes over," and held firm. My other coworkers have largely followed my lead and said that while they have no problem with Claire, the work parties are 21 plus. Rob still complains about this, and with lockdown being slowly lifted, the issue is not about to rear its ugly head again. She's 19 now, but I've said no until 21. Am I the asshole? I don't think this guy's the asshole at all. I think it's really weird for a 33-year-old to be dating an 18-year-old, even if it's legal and consensual. That's still pretty fucking creepy. And yeah, to just kind of put that burden on your friends to have an 18-year-old thinking she can come over and just drink is odd. And it puts the host of the party at risk too, because for some reason if she ends up driving or if you guys get caught, then the responsibility falls back on the OP here, who doesn't want some 18-year-old hanging out drinking at his house getting all messed up. So I agree 100% with the OP. I think Rob is creepy and needs to find someone his own age. I think it's as simple as that. All right. Let's try this one. Am I the asshole for asking one of my bridesmaids to cut her hair? I hopefully will be getting married this October to my amazing fiance. We've been together for 4 years, since we were 18. Over the past few weeks, my friends and I have done a weekly Zoom call to gossip and discuss details. I asked them all to send me their intended hair and makeup for the day, to which they all did, and I thought it was a reasonable request. All of them went for a very similar, apart from Madeline. Madeline is the only one of the group who has hair past her chest, and due to the style, she wouldn't be able to do the same style as everyone else. I gently suggested that she cut her hair to be able to do the same style as everyone else. She asked if I was being serious, and I said yes, that I wasn't planning on asking, but that it seemed a simple thing to do. My friends were all pretty outraged over this minor thing, and now Madeline is saying she doesn't even want to be my bridesmaid. It's only hair, it grows back. Am I the asshole? You're 100% the asshole. That's super fucked up. To ask your friend to cut her long hair for your wedding, that's pretty selfish. I'm married, and my wife did not do anything like this at our wedding at all. The only thing she requested was that they all wear the same bridesmaid dress, which is common. That's not odd at all. So yeah, you're definitely the asshole for asking your friend to cut her long hair for your wedding, and you don't deserve to have her as a bridesmaid. Let's see what some of the comments say. Let's see if they agree. Yeah, you're the asshole. You're the asshole. Asking people to modify their appearance to be in a wedding party is not a reasonable request. If you want everyone to have the same hairstyle, pick one everyone can do. Yeah, I agree. I don't think, why do they even need to all have the same hairstyle? That's still weird anyways. They can do their own hair however they want. You're just being kind of a bridezilla and really picky. Let's see, lots of comments here. Yeah, bottom line, you are the asshole. Let's look at this one. Let's see. Oh, it's a bit of a long one. Bear with me. Am I the asshole for not wanting to quit my job to look after a baby? Off the bat, I don't know. I might have to already agree with you. I don't think I'd want to quit my job to look after a baby either, but let's see. Background. My boyfriend, 23 male, and I, 23 male, met at university about 4 years ago and have been together for about 3.5 years. After university, I moved back to my home city to get a job, whereas he stayed in the city we met as he had a placement that offered him a job once he graduated. We live about an hour apart. We make it work because we see each other on the weekends and I take time off of school, holidays, etc. I work as a PA for one of the partners in a pretty decent sized law firm and have been here since I graduated about 2.5 years ago. And he works in a primary school. I love my job. I get to travel, great benefits and bonuses, and it's a great workplace where everyone knows each other and gets along great. I would consider my boss a friend outside of work since we often go out in groups together. So then we were talking about what we wanted our future together to look like. When and where we'd move in, a pet, things like that. He mentioned children at some point, not necessarily now, but before he turned 30. I have never been too bothered about kids, and he knows this. I would have children, but it's never been a must, for lack of better wording. Maybe it's because I'm the youngest in my family, so I never grew up with babies or younger children around me, or maybe it's because I'm only in my 20s and haven't really thought about it in that much detail. He said that, not word for word, you would have to start getting used to being around a baby since you're going to be the one looking after it throughout the day. I was taken aback. Never had I said I wanted to be a stay-at-home partner or shown any interest in doing that. So I told him that. I said I wasn't going to give up my job to be a stay-at-home parent. I said if it ever came to children, I would take the allowed paternity time off to bond, etc. with the baby, but I wouldn't be quitting my job. He went off on one saying how I was only a PA who makes more than him without the bonuses, whereas he was a teacher, shaping the minds of young children and furthering their education. How I was unloving and a monster for not willing to put a baby first, and how it would feel unloved if we just had our parents look after it. I asked why he wouldn't do it, and he couldn't answer, so went back to shouting and name calling. My argument was that children were never a be-all or end-all part of my life, and while I would love the baby, I would never put my career on hold. My life, to me, is pretty fulfilled as it is, and I have a great family. I've got nieces and nephews who I love and spend time with, but it's nice to get to hand them back to my cousins at the end of the day / weekend. Another point I made was how willing would he be to come and take over from me on an evening when he had been around 30 young children all day and then coming home to one. So am I the asshole for not wanting to give up my job for a baby that doesn't even exist yet? No, your partner is the asshole for sure. That's a really selfish thing to do, to just like impose that on someone. My wife really wants a kid, and my whole thing is always like, well, we both have to be like financially set for that. So it's kind of fucking ridiculous that he's gonna just put this baby on you, make you become a house parent, especially when you make more money than him. Plus, like, no offense to teachers or anything, but there's just not much money in that career anyways. And I mean, if anything, I don't know, as a teacher, you would be the one home like almost 3 to 5 months of the year when you take into account all the summer vacations and winter vacations and all this stuff. Yeah, your partner's a fucking asshole for sure. I would hate this. I think that's a red flag right there. You should probably leave your partner, honestly. It sounds like he wants something you really don't. There was a line here that, oh god, yeah, you would have to start getting used to being around a baby since you're going to be the one looking after it throughout the day. Absolutely not. You're not an asshole. I wouldn't want to look after a baby all day either. Both my parents had full-time jobs, and I turned out just fine, I think. But he definitely doesn't need to have a full-time house parent. My wife would love to do that, but it's just not necessary. Yeah, of course it's a bonus, but for no reason does there need to be one parent home all the time. Your partner's an asshole. Leave him. I'm kind of curious to see what this one's about. Alright, am I the asshole for not actually needing a salary but still having a job? So, throwaway account. I, 22 female, live with another roommate, 23 female. We both split the bills and rents. My parents, however, pay for my entire thing. I kind of fucking hate you already, I'm gonna be honest. They cover my tuition too. My dad has made sure that every one of his kids were well supported in college. I also received an allowance from him too. In the beginning, I didn't really want to get a job and just wanted to focus on studies. My roommate used to make a lot of remarks about my privilege, and I did used to agree to her that yes, I was privileged. Then this year, I decided I should get a job and get a taste of a real world because I really don't want to burden my father anymore. I used to be part of some student organizations at my university and was in charge of handling their social platforms. I, by sheer luck, found the exact job with a really good salary. I applied immediately and got a call back. I started working the very next day. The job enabled me to live in a really comfortable lifestyle where I could afford even branded clothes. I don't like the ones with names, but just nice stuff that I wanted but didn't buy because I didn't want to waste my father's money. I could afford new stuff. Now with coronavirus, my roommate lost her job, but I didn't because my work was already home-based. In fact, because of the load, I earned some extra amount. My roommate was also pregnant. She asked to cover the rent, which I'm absolutely okay with. Now for a few days, she has been trying to get me to buy baby stuff for her, but her baby isn't even due soon. I told her she can get those stuff when she finds a new job, but she started screaming at me for basically rolling in cash and not even considering a newborn baby. I told her this was not my responsibility and I wasn't the one getting knocked up when I couldn't afford to. So she screamed and screamed, called me an asshole. I think she vented to our friends because they have been messaging me and calling me the asshole too for not understanding her situation and just helping her. I have explained that I am the one covering the rent and feeding her at this point too. We had another argument at breakfast where she said I should give her my salary since my dad won't stop the allowance. I told her to fuck off and threatened to move out. She said I was blackmailing her. So Reddit, am I the asshole? I am really considering moving out at this point and just go live with my parents. It'll save some money too. It's kind of a tough one. I mean, I think you're an asshole just because you got a job out of boredom or as an experiment to see what it's like to live a real life. But then again, your roommate is kind of an asshole for kind of pushing the limits. I mean, if you're already paying rent and stuff, then that helps a lot. I mean, if she's that desperate and needs the money to buy food and needs to buy baby clothes, she needs to turn to her own family. I suppose the same way you would if you needed more money. So that's a bit of an asshole move on her part. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell who's the asshole here. I think you're both kind of entitled and you're both kind of the asshole here. But do I think you should have to pay for your friend's baby stuff? Absolutely not. I mean, you can do it out of the kindness of your friendship, but you definitely don't have to do it just because you get an allowance from your poppy and she doesn't. So I don't know. Don't let her take advantage of you. Let's see what other people have to say about this one. Not the asshole, but I think you should move out. She sounds unstable and entitled. That's not your kid. And where's the father in all this? I was kind of thinking the same thing. I mean, I didn't want to bring up, like, where's the father? Because things happen and people get pregnant and you can't just assume there's a father in all situations. But then again, it's like, yeah, where's this asshole at? If anything, the father of this baby is the fucking asshole in this situation. Um, but yeah, you should move out. She does sound really entitled, or at least it's just like, maybe she doesn't feel like she deserves the money from you, but is just trying to take advantage to get the money from you, just because she knows that you're going to be fine with or without the salary. Though that's kind of ridiculous to ask for someone's entire fucking salary. Let's see what some of these other ones are. Let's go all the way to the next comment. Not the asshole. Your roommate is lucky you were still going to cover for her. You should really try to get another roommate or just move out and get your own place since you can probably afford it. You are not responsible for her situation. She is crazy entitled. I mean, again, yeah, she's entitled. You should probably move out. And it's probably not a very good friendship either, but I mean, if you look at it from her perspective, she probably thinks you're a bad friend too because you're not giving her the money. But I don't know, like if my roommate or whatever got pregnant, I would help as much as I could, but I'm not going to give them like my full salary just because they're out of work. Like if she lost her job, she needs to file for unemployment and she needs to go to like WIC and the other like government funded organizations that help with this exact thing, so that she could be well off. But I still think you're both kind of the asshole just because I don't like that you only have to work because you're bored. But good for you. Okay, I want to talk about this one just because I think this is going to end up being like a problem of mine and my wife's in the future. Let's see. Am I the asshole for telling my sister I think her baby name choice is weird? My sister is in her 3rd trimester of pregnancy and she's about ready to pop any day now. We're all excited about her new baby. Ever since the pregnancy began, my sister and Bill have kept their name choice a secret from everyone, even their closest friends and family. My sister and I are pretty close. We can be dicks to each other every now and then, but at the end of the day, we'd still take a bullet for each other. So last night she decided to share her baby name with me. The name is Portabella. And yeah, she did give me permission to share it here. Like a mushroom. At first I thought she was joking, but then she started saying how we could just call the kid Bella for short. There's obviously nothing wrong with Bella, but I think naming your kid after a mushroom is weird. I told my sister that she can name her baby whatever she wants as long as Bill is on board. But she did not take this well. She got really irritated, pointing out how I have my weird obsessions with fried chicken. It's kind of true. So why can't she have a weird obsession with her favorite mushroom? I told her she can be obsessed with whatever food she likes, but you don't see me making plans to name my firstborn the Colonel. This just made her explode. I keep telling her the name is fine, but I don't care what the baby is called, as long as she's healthy, but she's insisting I was being an asshole. Was I though? I don't care what the baby's name is, I'm just excited to be an auntie. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole at all. Portabella is a stupid fucking name for a baby. Why name it Portabella just to call it Bella for short? Just name the fucking baby Bella. I clicked on this one just because my wife and I have always thought the names like Luna are really cute, or Lila. And there's been other ones like Soul for a boy or something like that. But that's nothing compared to fucking Portabella. It's fucking dumb. Let's see what the comments say. Not the asshole. You didn't even insult the name or tell her not to. You just didn't give the reaction she wanted. She knows it's weird and it's deflecting based on that. She's the asshole for giving her kid a name that could get her bullied. Yeah, I totally agree. Like, it seemed like you were actually pretty polite about the whole thing. You could have just made fun of it or whatever. But yeah, she's definitely naming her baby something that's going to get her bullied. Would get bullied. There's no way that's going to go well. Portabella, what a dumb fucking name. The first thing I saw when looking at it was porta potty. OP, it is your job to save her, your only hope. Yeah, be a good sister and absolutely convince her not to. Porta potty, I'm fucking dead. Porta potty will be the nickname until age 13. Fungi will take over during her teen years. Poor kid. Oh god, that's too funny. The boy would be named Asparagus. They'll call him Gus, of course. Portly Bella, Porky Bella, Pooty Bella. Kids are cruel. Yeah, kids are fucking cruel. I would go with Porky Belly. Oh. Oh god, no, you're not an asshole. Your sister's kind of an asshole though for getting ready to name her kid Portobello. Alright, let's go with this one. Am I the asshole for not sending my gifted child to private school because of her sister? My husband and I have twin girls, 6-year-old female, Kyla and Charlotte. Kyla's exceptionally bright. Not through anything that we've done. She was reading fluently before she turned 3. Is now able to read books for 11 to 12-year-olds. Can do mental arithmetic. And she is insatiably curious and loves learning. Charlotte is very visual and loves painting, which we encourage. That's the parents' way of being like, Charlotte's not so fucking bright. Not as bright as Kyla. Where was I? But she's not as interested in learning as Kyla. There it is. And her intelligence is of a different sort to Kyla's. Like, she's fucking dumb compared to Kyla, is what her parents are saying. She's good at practical things, but she's otherwise at an average level with her peers, which is still great, and we're very proud of her. Recently, the girl's teacher told us about a private school nearby and suggested that we send Kyla there. The fees are $15,000 per year. I'm just not even going to finish there. You're not the asshole at all. $15,000 per year is way too much fucking money to be sending a fucking 6-year-old to school. I don't give a fuck how gifted they are. And if they are gifted, they're going to do just fine in public school. I mean, I went to public school with tons of kids who weren't gifted at all, who were doing just fine, who are actually doing really well in life, and some who were kind of gifted and aren't doing shit because they're fucking lazy and they make bad choices. So I think your kids will be fine. I would never mention to Charlotte that you feel that Kayla or Kyla is exceptional. Just let them go do their thing. If Kayla studies better or reads better or whatever, then good for her. She's probably going to do just fine. Maybe if anything, she can help Charlotte. But I definitely wouldn't split them up in terms of private school and non-private school. If you send them to 2 different schools, that's one thing. I mean, at least in the school district I went to in elementary school, there was like elementary schools in like the rich neighborhoods, and then the middle class neighborhoods, and then the poor neighborhoods. And obviously the elementary schools in the rich neighborhoods just tend to do better. The kids tend to be better off. They get a little bit better of an education, probably because their school has way more funding, even though it is still a public school. So maybe you can send Kayla to a nicer school in a nicer school district and send Charlotte to the local school down the street. I don't know. But no, I don't think you're the assholes at all. I didn't even bother to finish reading this. I mean, the moment I read the fees are $15,000 per year, I just, fuck that. I'm not sending my kids to an elementary school that's $15,000 a year. Alright, am I the asshole for being furious that my boyfriend used a keepsake of mine for his art without permission? I've had this shark tooth ever since I was maybe 11. I found it on a beach on vacation. At the time it was just cool, because what are the chances to just walk on a random beach and find a shark tooth? The chances probably aren't too high, but I mean, I think your chances of finding a shark tooth on the beach are higher than finding a shark tooth up in the mountains or something. So I don't know, still, your chances are still pretty fucking good of finding a shark tooth. In time, it became an important emotional keepsake for me that reminded me of all the good parts of my childhood. Honestly, most of it wasn't very good, so extra important. I just really liked this stupid tooth, and whenever I was upset, I would just rub it in my hands and feel comfortable. My boyfriend saw it in my room early on, and I told him this story, and he was like, hey, cool. To be fair, at the point, I didn't go in detail, just said it's important to me. Some years went by. We don't live together yet, but most of the time he comes to my place because it's larger. One day a few months back, I was looking for my shark tooth, and it wasn't in the 2 or 3 places it has been in. No biggie. I'm honestly pretty messy and often lose stuff somewhere only to find it in my sock drawer a week later or something. I kept searching, confident it would resurface because it has never left my flat. After 2 weeks or so, I began to worry, took my vacuum cleaner apart and started panicking about maybe having dropped it in the trash somehow and that it may be gone for good. Eventually, my boyfriend is over and notices that one of my drawers was kind of messy because I had gone through it and searched every nook. I tell him I can't find the tooth, and he was like, "Oh, that's a shame. I'm sure you'll find it." I didn't notice any weird vibes, so I guess he's good. He's got a good poker face. He's a good fucking liar, is what that means. One more week, he says over text, "Okay, I need to tell you something. Don't be mad." And sends me a picture of some art project and it has my shark tooth in it. Apparently, he had to do a sculpture type thing for university, and it's like a Viking ship. So that is made half out of seashells, driftwood, etc., with my tooth as the centerpiece. I said that with a fucking list. With my tooth as the centerpiece. And he tells me he saw the tooth in my flat when he was over, and I was in the shower, so he put it in his pocket to ask me later, then forgot about it. When you take something and don't ask, whether you forgot or not, that's fucking theft. He stole it. You could have said that in 2 words. He fucking stole it out of my flat. Oh, God. Then forgot about it, and when he rediscovered it at home, he supposedly thought it was part of some other materials he had gotten elsewhere and just went ahead and used it. He claims he didn't remember until it was too late. So I tell him he's going to give it back to me as soon as possible, and he goes, well, it might take a few months because it's in an exhibition, and also he used super glue so he doesn't know if he can get it off. I was just done with the conversation and stared at the wall for like 30 minutes. After I'd calmed down a bit, I genuinely am not sure if I'm overreacting or not. Like, yeah, it's just a tooth, but he didn't ask me. I can believe him that he doesn't remember our short conversation a few years ago about it, but who just takes something from someone's bedroom and slaps it on their artwork without saying anything? I feel like if I see him in person, I'd have to struggle to not flip out. Am I the asshole for reacting so strongly? No, I don't think so. Your boyfriend's definitely the asshole. He stole it from you. Even if it was like a short conversation about it, like I feel like that's something you still remember. Short conversation or not, you remember that like, hey, my girlfriend had a shitty childhood and this is like the one glimmer of fucking hope, the holy fucking grail of her childhood. And he deliberately stole it. He didn't take it and forget to mention it or ask. That doesn't make any sense. Like, why didn't he ask before he took it? He shouldn't have fucking taken it in the first place. So he stole it from you, then used it in his art, which I'm sure is why he stole it in the first place. He probably saw it and was like, this would be sick on a fucking makeshift Viking ship or something, and just never gave it back. And now that you've called him out for it, he's being an asshole and just being like, no, it's in a exhibition for a few fucking months. Your boyfriend's totally the asshole. That's actually like a huge invasion of privacy and theft. I think once you get that shark tooth back, you should have a real conversation about it with him. And I don't know, I think that's a big red flag that says a lot about someone who will just take something and not mention it. You know, it's like if I ever take anything from anyone, I'm either going to be like, oh, hey, I need to use this because it is something unvaluable and it's replaceable, or I'll ask from the fucking get-go. I never just take things that are valuable to someone and just forget to ask and then use it in artwork. That better have been a good fucking Viking ship. Also, if he needed like a tooth that bad, why didn't he just go get one from like a gift shop? You know, like order one on Amazon. I'm sure you can get them for like $1 on Amazon, like a fake one or something. I don't know. Your boyfriend's definitely the fucking asshole for this one. All right, thank you so much for watching this video where we went over, am I the asshole? The answer is yes, you are a fucking asshole. You need to change your ways. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. You know the drill. You've been on YouTube for long enough to know what the fuck to do. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.